Good morning, students. Today we will start with the new topic, that is case taking in mental illnesses. So, in mental diseases, it was described by Dr. Hahnemann in aphorism number 215, 216, 221, 224 and 225. That is how we should proceed, especially in mental illnesses. According to Dr. Hahnemann, or according to our homeopathic concepts, individual is an inseparable whole of the mind and body. We cannot consider the part of the body of an individual. We cannot consider only his mental state. We cannot consider only his physical complaints, but we considered the individual as a whole. We considered the individual as inseparable whole. So while treating the patient, we always take details about his mental state, his physical general state, and his main complaint or his particular complaint. If there is anything that affect the vital force, means if anything that affect or that disturb the inner vital force which is present inside the body, which affects the mind as well as the physical body together. So if there is affection in vital force, if the vital force get disturbed, then we found the symptoms, the affection in the form of symptoms at the mental level as well as at physical level. So Dr. Hahnemann said that the mental disease is not a separate entity, and we cannot separate the mental illness as a mental disease, separate mental disease. When the person is disturbed mentally, if the person is showing the symptoms or his affection in the form of mental symptoms or physical symptoms, then definitely there is affection at the vital level, at the level of the vital force. So we cannot consider the first and important thing, that we cannot consider or we cannot treat the mental state of the patient, the mental illness in the patient, but we have to cure the person as a whole. While taking the case, we found that in some cases, symptoms of derangement of mind and disposition increased, and physical symptoms that decreased. Means we found many mental symptoms in the case, but as compared to mental disturbance, we cannot found the physical symptoms till they attain most striking one-sidedness, that is, local disease become invisible, which is also given in aphorism number 220. 15. Means first we get the symptoms related to mind and disposition more compared to physical symptoms, and slowly these symptoms are also going to decrease, and we found only one or two symptoms. These symptoms are decreased till they attain the most striking one-sidedness, means local disease, and the disease become invisible. This is given in aphorism number 215 in Organon of Medicine. Such type of disease starts with physical symptom and end or transform into mental symptom. So, first, in such cases, firstly we found the physical symptoms, then we get the less physical symptoms and more mental symptoms or physical symptoms that decreased, and afterwards all the symptoms we found less, the disease become one-sided. In this way, the disease condition progresses and it become one-sided. We cannot get the proper symptoms of the disease. In such cases or in such patients, there is need to take the complete history of the patient to get the whole picture of the disease, as well as important state of mind and his character and nature. But as we are taking the complete history of the patient, but at one time we cannot get the whole picture of the patient or complete history of the patient. To get the proper totality in such patients, during each follow-up we have to take the case in detail to find out the hidden symptoms or the symptoms whatever we cannot get in the previous visits. Now, to get the full picture of the disease, three important things to be noted, especially when the patient is giving the mental symptoms. If the patient is suffering from any mental illness, in such cases, in such patients, to get the full picture of the disease, we have to note following three important things. In that, first one is accurate description of previous state of disease before going into one-sided state. So, what is the previous state of disease? As in one-sided diseases, though it is chronic in nature, first the complaints start at physical level, Then the physical symptoms become less and the patient is showing mental symptoms, and afterwards all the symptoms they disappear, or we get only one or two symptoms in the patient. In such condition, we have to find out, or we have to collect the previous state of the disease before the patient is going into one-sided state. How was the suffering of the patient? Which symptoms the patient was having at that state? We have to collect these symptoms from patient. We have to gather these symptoms from his relatives, from his family members, from his friends, so that we can able to know the state of the disease before it go into one-sided state. Then during lucid interval, some physical symptoms they become prominent. In between the two, in between or the interval between the two acute state, the physical symptoms become prominent. They should be considered to complete the totality, or while completing, or while making the portrait of the disease, we should also consider these symptoms, which we should also consider the physical symptoms which are prominent during the lucid interval. And then the third important thing is change in behavior, change in functioning of the mind, as well as deviation from previous state of mind, noted by inquiring with patients, friends, relatives and family. So, what is the state of mind before or at the commencement of the disease? As the disease progresses, how the changes in patient's behavior, how the changes in his functioning takes place, and what is his present state of mind. All these things we should inquire, we should collect from patient as well as from his relatives, his family members, his friends. At the same time, while collecting all these changes in his mental state, we should also observe the patient properly while taking the history. The physician's observation is very much important while taking the case, and especially in such patients, especially in the patients suffering from mental illness, the physician's observation should be very crucial. And in this way, we are able to complete the totality. We are able to construct the portrait of the patient's suffering. So this is the first type of patient, that is, we get only one or two symptoms. As the disease progresses, the symptoms, first the physical symptoms will appear as the disease starts, then it slowly disappear, and the mental symptoms we found more prominent than the physical symptoms, and afterwards the case become one-sided. So what we should do, or how we should complete the case, how we should complete the portrait in such cases, we discussed just now. Then the second type of mental diseases, the mental state, or we found the mental illness in the patient, and the reason behind the mental state is sudden fright, vexation, grief. So due to these things, due to sudden fright, vexation or grief, the mental diseases, those arise, are sudden in onset. They are expressed as intense, violent symptom of mind and treated as acute disease. So, due to fright, vexation and grief, the symptom appear suddenly with much intensity or with much violence, and so due to their violence, due to their sudden appearance, due to their intensity, we have to treat these conditions or these diseases as acute disease. In such cases, we consider prominent mental symptoms and physical concomitants. Only the prominent mental symptoms, whatever we get, the reason behind present acute state, and the physical concomitant, whatever we get from the patient, we take all these symptoms and we form the acute totality of the patient, and according to this, or considering this acute totality, we should prescribe accordingly. But as this violent state disappear, as the patient get recover from his acute state, we have to take the detailed case history of the patient when his acute state get over, or when the acute condition get cured. We should again take the detailed history of the patient to find out his miasmatic background and constitution, so that to find out antimiasmatic and constitutional medicine. So the recurrence of such acute condition get reduced, as well as with the help of antimiasmatic and constitutional medicine, it will help us to cure the patient. So this is the second type of mental illness, which is caused due to sudden fright, vexation or grief. Then the third type of mental diseases due to bad practices, corruption, faults in education, corrupt morals, neglect of mind, superstition or ignorance. So due to these things, when we get any changes in the person's mental state, then in such cases our case taking should be incorporate sensible and friendly exhortations, consolatory arguments, serious representations and sensible advice is very much important in such patients. We should communicate very sensibly with such patients. Our statements should be sensible. We should behave friendly with the patient. While taking the case, we should use some consolatory arguments so that the patient feel better, as well as if needed we should give the sensible advice to the patient. After taking the case, as while taking the case we are sensible, we are friendly with the patient, we give sympathy, we consolate the patient, as well as we give the sensible advice to the patient. The patient feel relieved after case taking. He feel better after case taking or after expressing his inner feelings. So in this way we have to collect the symptoms from the patients, such type of patients, with our sensible advice and sensible as well as friendly presentation while taking the case. Then the fourth type of mental diseases Now, the fourth type of mental diseases. The cause behind these type of diseases is especially the emotional cause. It may be due to continuous anxiety, continuous worry, vexation, wrongs, and frequent occurrence of fear and fright. So, in this way, due to any type of emotional disturbances, as we have seen just now, that is anxiety, worry, vexation, any type of fear, fright, the patient, due to its occurrence, the patient is showing the symptoms after some time, and in such patients, to get the proper history, to find out the proper cause behind the patient's mental state, we have to take the detailed history about patient's environment, why the patient is having such type of symptoms, as well as the physician must go through the circumstances in his family, at his workplace, in his social area to which patient is constantly reacting. So in this way, we have to take, or we have to consider all these things. Is there any circumstances in family? Is there any disturbances, or is there any stress, anxiety at his workplace, at his social area where the patient was constantly living in that area. And in such diseases, there are expressions of his failure to adapt himself in continued and prevailing unfavorable situations. So, the patient reproaches himself that he was not able to adapt himself in all these situations, in all these circumstances. So, in such cases, the history, his family background, history in detail about his family members, his relation with his family members, his behavior in the society, his relation in the people of the society, people in which he was living daily, as well as it is important to know details at his workplace, how how the patient was behaving with his colleagues. Is there any problem with anyone, and due to that reason the patient get disturbed The patient get anxious, worried. So these things are very much important while taking the case of such type of patients who are or who show the mental illnesses after continuous anxiety, worry, or any sort of fear, fright. So, to construct the proper totality of any disease, the physician, he should acquire the details of the patient's disposition, his environment, and characteristics of his mental and physical reactions. These all things, that is, patient's disposition, his environment, his mental state, his physical state, as well as mental and physical reactions, all these things are very important to construct the proper totality of the disease, especially in mental illnesses. Now, there are some general instructions for interviewing the mental patients. Which instructions are given when we taking the case of the mental illness or the case of the person who is suffering from any mental illness? The first and very much important thing is the physician should establish rapport with patient so that the patient express all his inner feelings, all his emotions to the physician while taking the case. By looking at patient with interest and responding to patient's emotions, and your interest should be because it is important and affects you with sympathy. While taking the case, we should take the case with interest, as well as in between we should respond the patient's emotions and give sympathetic statements while taking the case, because our interest, our sympathy towards patient's behavior, patient's expressions, these are also very much helpful to get the proper history, as well as physician's interest, physician's response, sympathy. It show compassion, warmth, and genuineness towards the patient. Then while taking the case, especially in mental illnesses, we should ask always open-ended questions. What is open-ended questions? Means the questions that cannot answered with yes or no. We cannot get the answer of such questions in one word. As for example, we should ask the patient, how do you see your future? So, or tell me about your relationship with your supervisor. Why did you choose that answer? So, these questions are such questions for while answering such questions, the patient cannot answer it in one word, yes or no. But while answering such questions, the patient should give answer in elaborate way with proper explanation. Then in some patients, there is feeling that they cannot be helped. They should be carefully handled. Means they cannot get help, they cannot get any help, mental help, physical help, emotional support, sympathy, they cannot get. And such patients, especially while taking the history of such patients, they should be carefully handled, because already they become very much depressed, they become pessimistic, all the negative thoughts are there in such patients. So we should have to handle such patients very carefully. Then if patient is having suicidal behavior, then such patients should be protected and supervised in a psychiatric setting. So if the patient was talking, or if we found that there is suicidal behavior in the patient, then in such patients a proper supervision, proper observation is very much important. So for proper observation, such patients should be admitted in psychiatric setting, or they should be supervised in psychiatric settings. In patients having delusions, physician should not challenge patient's delusion directly. The patient's delusion, they should not challenged by the physician, but he should indicate that he understands the patient's belief in the delusion to be true. We should assure the patient that the physician understands the patient's belief and it should be true. If the patient is violent, then the physician should take care of following following points. If the patient is violent, then which care the physician should take? The first important thing is interviewing such patients. It should not be done alone. But while interviewing such patients, such violent patients, there should be one attendant with the physician. It may be patient's relative, friend, or anyone. Many violent persons are threatened and cover it with violence. So, while taking the case, your voice should be calm and non-threatening tone. As many patients we found, there is threat about something. The patient is fearful. There is fear about anything, and if the physician's voice is in high pitch, then as the patient is previously violent, he become more violent. So the voice of the physician while taking the case of such patients, it should be calm and in non-threatening tone. Physician should be firm and non-aggressive in stating that violent acts will not be tolerated. So, before taking the case, the physician should strictly advise that the violence of any kind, it will not be tolerated. While taking the case, any sort of arguments that should be avoided, especially when the patient is violent. The physician should only listen, should only observe the patient, should only collect the symptoms, whatever the patient was giving, the symptoms, whatever the physician get from his relatives, and he should not argue or he should not make argument with violent patient. Such angry, violent, threatening behavior, having predictable range of emotions. So, never react personally to the provocations of violent patients. We should never react to the provocations, especially in case of violent patients, as well as any sort of physical punishment, any sort of tortures that should be avoided while taking the history, especially in violent patient, especially in the patient which is having mental illness with too much violence. So in this way, these are some important things which we should follow carefully in mental conditions, so that we can able to find out the proper portrait of the disease. We can able to find out proper totality, especially in case of mental illnesses. Thank you.